Spring is coming, and I have a vase full of my favorite flower, Ranunculus. Ranunculus in Latin means little frog. And they're called that because they grow in wet, marshy areas where there are frogs. And this flower was introduced to Europe in the 16th century. Well, today I am going to address a question that I get asked often. What are my phone habits? And I have avoided this question because I felt like I wasn't an authority on the subject. But recently, I have been thinking a lot about this just by observing what's around me, and with quite a bit of scientific research to back me up, I felt like it was time to share with you my habits and how they might help you. I don't have a phone addiction, and I've never developed a phone addiction, but there are moments when I recognize myself slipping, and when I catch myself, I'm like, what is happening? And the answer to what is happening is, it's drawing you in, it's pulling you in, and you're getting addicted, or this is how it starts. It is designed to do this. The whole thing is designed to pull you in and keep you there, and to become a reflex where you're not even thinking about it and you pull it out and you look at it. I see it everywhere around me. I have seen the rise of it. I was born in a time when there was no cell phone, and I, for a long time, felt it's not good. It's not healthy. This is not a good thing for people's minds. But I kept that to myself, and I thought, well, it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. Mind your own business and focus on yourself, which is what I have done through all these years. And the reason why I want to share this with you today is because I think the question that was posed to me, or is asked regularly, can you please talk about your phone habits? It's being asked from a place of need and want for people to fix something in their lives. It's given me the recognition of knowing this is a problem for many people, and they don't know what to do. So today, I am going to tell you what to do, because I've been analyzing this, and I believe I have a method that really works. So my scientific backup comes from mainly a professor at Harvard who is a scientist. He's a behavioral scientist, and the subject he teaches at Harvard is happiness. He teaches leadership and the science of happiness, and what it actually means for humans to be happy and how we get there. And a huge part of what he is teaching currently is related to this technology. And he says boldly, it is really, really bad for you. It's common for any generation to look back and to think, wow, it was better when I was young. Look at people today, or kids these days. And he says that, it's we might think, it's just lamenting about the present time with nostalgia for the past. And that is actually not the case currently. So much data shows how destructive the phone is to your mind and to society as a whole, mainly because people aren't giving themselves the time to simply be alone with their minds and to have to contemplate existential questions like, what is the meaning of my life? What does happiness mean to me? How do I pursue that? Why am I upset with my life? How do I change that? Instead, when I say we as a collective, have this reflex of any little moment that there is, even standing at a stoplight waiting to cross the street, the phone is just pulled out with the rationale of, I need to check something. Let's see if there are any notifications. Let's see if I'm needed. And without even recognizing that it's a filler for avoiding your thoughts and avoiding a potential uncomfortable situation where you have to think about the bigger things in life. This is what's happening around the world. And it's very, very destructive to your mind and to all of us, because we're in this together. So I'm going to tell you about how this has affected me. I mean, I've looked around my whole life at what others are doing, and I've asked myself, do I want to be more like them? Am I a weirdo for sort of doing these obscure things? Should I be more normal? And sometimes the answer is yes, with certain things, like not being alone all the time. I recognize that there is something negative about constantly wanting to be alone, and for there to be a real healthy side to pushing myself to be with other people. So I've learned how to do that and how to be comfortable in that and how to be good at that. And then there are many things that I look around me and see the masses doing and have recognized, I don't want to be that way. I don't think this is healthy. I don't think this is good. And one of them is this practice of staring at the phone. You go anywhere in public, anywhere, and if you look around you, especially if someone is alone, what are they doing? They're staring at their phone. And I realize the irony of this, me conveying this message and the medium I'm using to do it. But I'm going to address that. The practice of looking at a phone, to me, and this is just my opinion and how I feel, because I connect to obscure things that are often linked to the past. I feel it's something that should be done in private. I feel it is akin to something you're doing in the bathroom with toilet paper. I feel it's embarrassing to do it in public. I feel it is not good etiquette to be walking around staring at a phone, or to be sitting in public listening to something without your earbuds, whatever they're called, or frankly, to be in public with those things in your ears. And yet it's done ubiquitously everywhere. It is done on a much more intrusive level, like people walk around in a grocery store, in a shop, having full conversations on their phone with their thing while they're checking out with the cashier. No hello, no how are you, no acknowledgement of what this person is doing checking you out, just continuing their conversation while the other person just does their job and bags the stuff and walks away. I see all of this, and I can't help but ask myself, is this right or is this wrong? It is normal. It is normal. But is it right? My answer is no, it is not. So I don't do those things. Then I ask myself, is it healthy? Is it healthy for all of these people to be doing this collectively? And the answer has always been no. But it is from reading articles, scientific articles, doing research into Arthur Brooks, this professor at Harvard, that I have the backup to know I'm right. It is extremely unhealthy. And when our nation and the world laments about what is happening in the world, I do think so much of it is linked to a macro level of what everybody is doing with their minds. So, when someone says to me, "You're so talented, how are you able to do all these things?" You do pottery, you paint, you play music, you can do calligraphy. Wow, you're so talented. I wish I could also, and then they fill in the blank. Let me tell you that this notion of talent is a wonderful romantic thing, that I was just born into this world with an advantage to be able to do all of these things. Yes, maybe I was given something genetically that helps me learn these things. Both of my parents were very good at drawing. My mom had an ear for music and studied music and could sing beautifully, and she could play an instrument. So yes, maybe some of that is in there in the genes, but most of it is work and skill. And this is something that I also learned from a book that I read. A fantastic book that is a rebuttal to Malcolm Gladwell's book that talks about the 10,000 hours thing. Malcolm Gladwell got the spending 10,000 hours on something will make you proficient at it from an academic paper that somebody else wrote. And then the person that wrote the paper read Gladwell's book and was like, that's not what I meant. This is what I meant. And he wrote a book, and that book is fantastic. So reading that book was a reinforcement to what I had been doing for years. It's not just the 10,000 hours of doing something. It's the ability to find the right teacher. It's the ability to practice properly. And then comes all of the hours of working on the skill. My pottery, my painting, my calligraphy, those are all things that I have been doing for so many years, but not only doing them for so many years, finding the right teachers and begging them to teach me, and then listening with full focus, and then practicing. And let me tell you, when the practice happens, it's long stretches of time uninterrupted. I don't have my phone beside me while I'm writing a letter in calligraphy. I don't have my phone with me when I'm spending the day with Guy Wolf in the pottery studio. I'll take pictures here and there, and I'm going to come to that. but when I'm doing these things, I am fully immersed in them for long hours at a time. And something is happening in my mind. My mind is not distracted by dinging or by being bored and me needing to just check out mentally and look at something on my phone. I've learned how to focus. And these skills, they are skills, they're not talents, have come from the ability to focus for long stretches of time. That, I believe, is something that the phone has made very difficult for people. The phone has shortened people's attention spans. They're not able to sit and focus. They're not able to sit and just be alone with their thoughts for long periods of time. And I'm talking about masses of people. I think I'm very lucky in that the audience that I've cultivated resonates with what I'm saying. And part of the joy that has come from this channel is that I'm sharing techniques with people that they're actually implementing in their lives, and they're seeing a difference. And I know this because I read the comments, and I am stopped regularly in person, wherever I go, by people that have shared with me how these practices have helped them find beauty in their lives, but that have also brought such a sense of mental peace to their minds. Now, I'm going to just jump right in to the 3 ways I believe you can break your phone addiction if this is a problem for you. 3 things that you can do to break this addiction. And they work. And they're all R things. The 3 R's of breaking your phone addiction. The 3 R's from Rajiv. The first thing is restriction. The phone thing is an addiction. It's like a drug. It's like alcohol. It is like any other addiction. You just slip into it and you get addicted. You get hooked, and you don't even know you're doing it sometimes. Well, for most of the time, you don't know you're doing it. You don't really even know that you're addicted. But breaking it shows you that it's an addiction. And that part is the hardest part. And that's why we're starting with restriction. Restrict yourself from your phone for a period of time or for periods of time, and make them longer and longer. Now, restricting yourself from your phone, the easiest time to do that is when you're sleeping. It's actually when you legitimately are not on your phone, when you're sleeping. For the people that are really addicted to their phones, if we count minutes or stretches of minutes consecutively that are spent away from your phone, it's when you're sleeping. So my advice is start with that. Start with the sleeping time as when you're restricting yourself from your phone, and bookend sleep with additional restriction. What that means is before you go to bed, turn your phone off. Don't just set it aside, turn it off. And the rebuttal might be, well, I have it on in case of emergencies. I have children, or I have an elderly parent. And what if they need to contact me? Well, if you have to do that, then keep your phone on, but put it in another room. And there are ways to actually set your phone to allowing only certain numbers to be able to call you or text you during this time and this time. And if you don't know how to do that, there are kids that know how to do that. Just ask someone to help you. That's my first thing. If you can turn your phone off, this is what you should do before you go to bed. Well, you invest in one of these, which is what I have. This is an old-fashioned alarm clock. And make this something that's fun for you. Find an old-fashioned alarm clock that you actually like. Now, they have these great little square alarm clocks at the dollar store that like take 2 AA batteries. That's fine. It's $1. It's actually kind of cute, that little thing, and it has the alarm that goes dee-dee-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee. That's how it wakes you up. That's entry level. $1, some batteries, you have your alarm clock, set your alarm, turn your phone off when you're about to get into bed, or even earlier, like when you start to brush your teeth. Turn your phone off, really turn it off. Plug it in so that it can recharge, and then turn it off so that it goes to sleep, and then set your alarm on your clock. Now, you can elevate the clock situation from entry-level battery clock to wind-up clock. This is a clock from, I think, the 60s, the 50s or the 60s. It is a Baby Ben Westclox clock. It requires no batteries. It's a completely wind-up thing. So you wind this for the time, and then you hear this lovely ticking, and then you set the alarm. And the alarm, like I'm just going to do the alarm for you, you pull this, you pull this for the alarm. That's the alarm. And it's all just the inner clockwork, the mechanism of the clock that makes it run. It's a wonderful thing. And you can wake up to the clock. And then when you wake up, here's the next part of the restriction. Don't turn your phone on right away. Allow yourself to just sit with your thoughts and your immediate environment, or your partner in bed, or the dog, for as long as possible. And it can be 1 minute that turns into 5 minutes, that turns into 15, and then 30 minutes. And in that time, I promise you, something is going to happen in your mind. It might start out as being uncomfortable. You might feel like, ugh, I don't like this. Like, it feels weird. Sit through that discomfort. That is the withdrawal of the addiction. That's like an alcoholic not having a drink, or someone not smoking a cigarette after doing it for 15 years. It's going to be hard. It's going to be weird. It might even be painful. This is what it takes. Restriction. That's number one. And then from that period of doing it before and after sleep, you can extend it. You can do it sometimes in the afternoon. You can do it for an entire weekend. Restriction, number one. Number two is replacement. Replace the time that you would spend on your phone with something else. And this is a fantastic way to break your addiction. People say, oh, I don't have the time to do that. Well, add up the amount of time that you're actually spending here and there scrolling on your phone, or doing anything on your phone. And I know that there's so many things on the phone that someone might say is beneficial, like doing the crossword puzzle or the Wordle. Great. Do those, eliminate the other things, or even get rid of those, because it's a temptation. You're on this device. This whole thing is to stop being on the device. Replace it with something else. Get the actual newspaper. Get a crossword book. Do one of those each day. Whatever it takes to stop this, to stop looking at the screen. But further than that, this is where things like reading come in. Get a book, It's going to be uncomfortable. If you haven't done it before, try reading, knitting, learning how to knit, and then focusing the time on actually knitting. Playing music. Playing music is a wonderful thing to do, which is a gift that you'll be giving yourself that requires hard work, dedication, time, practice, but there's a real reward after that. Things like writing in a journal require less of an investment. Writing an actual letter to someone. These might be things you've never done before. I'm opening the door to them for you to walk through. And that has been one of the wonderful things about my channel, is that I have shared these things with you, like pottery and journaling, writing letters, in the hopes that you might be influenced to slowly make your way over to them and to see the benefits of doing them and the benefits on your mind while you do these things. When you're doing these things, try to turn your phone off. Don't just have it nearby and say, I'm not going to look at it. Turn it off or put it in another room. Physically separate yourself from this device while you are doing these things. And when you're doing these things and there are those uncomfortable moments where you get bored, because it happens to me, especially when I'm practicing. When I'm practicing the harp and there's like some difficult passage that I'm just not getting, and I sort of sit a little overwhelmed, I'm told by my teacher, take a little break, take a mental break. And I'm tempted to just go and get my phone and look at it, but I don't. I do something else. I like walk around the room, or I go and cut up an apple and put almond butter on it and eat it, and then I come back to the task. I am very strict with myself when it comes to these practices. I set timers, and the timer for my harp practice is not my phone. This is really old school. It is, I'll show you, because I hate my phone so much. I recognized, I was using my phone for timing for harp practice, and I want to eliminate my phone as much as possible. So when I was in Florence, I went to a shop called Castorina, and I asked them to make me this. And I said, it needs to be an hour. And they did it. They made me an hourglass. So this is what I use as my timer. So I don't have to have my phone with me, other than I use it to tune the harp, and then I put it in another room. Replacing phone time with something tangible, something constructive, will give you a sense of self-worth. You will see that the time that you're spending on these things feels fulfilling and rewarding, especially when there's something that you have to show for it. When you have knitted a hat, I knit this hat, Laura made the pom-pom. When you have made, where's my mitten? There's a mitten somewhere here. Oh, here it is. It's not quite finished, but it's on its way. I still need to finish the thumb. When you're holding this thing in your hand, this is a reflection of 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there. I didn't sit and make this for 3 hours or 5 hours in a row. I knit 3 rows while I was waiting to get on the plane. I knit on the subway. I knit at the gym once when I was waiting to go to my harp lesson. That's how this happened. This is a replacement for the 5 to 10 minutes that I could have spent just scrolling on my phone. And I have something to show for it. I'm holding it in my hands, and not only am I holding it in my hands, but when it's done, I'm actually going to wear it. And that is something that was not uncommon in previous generations. Our parents knew this subconsciously. They probably weren't articulating it to themselves because it was just normal. But they had a sense of self-worth that they accomplished through tasks like making the bed, ironing sheets, mowing the lawn, knowing how to fix the lawnmower, knowing how to fix the car. These skills that take time and effort to learn make you feel good about yourself. And the way that they're accomplished is through time. So, replacing phone time with something else, that's number 2. And number 3, the final thing that will help you break your phone addiction is recognition. Recognize what you're doing when you're on your phone. Be aware. recognize that when you check a text message from someone and you go and you swipe to some other app, stop and say, why am I doing this? Why am I swiping to Instagram? It's because it becomes a reflex. Again, these things are designed for that. They're made to make you swipe and make it easy for you to just keep going and going. Now it even shows you things you didn't even know you wanted to see. Like, and it's a very good reflection of your mind. For me, it's shirtless man, harp, knitting, repairing a sweater, shirtless man, pottery, shirtless man, sheep in a field. This old house is for sale for $75,000 and you could fix it up for whatever. Shirtless man. It's just like, it knows what you want to see, and we all know this, but recognize what's happening when you're swiping. Don't just be mindless. And when you realize that you're doing it, when you realize that you're just swiping and scrolling by instinct, stop yourself. So with recognition, there's a few things to recognize. A, recognize what you're doing when you're doing it. Stop and see it and question yourself and tell yourself, okay, I know I'm doing this now. And be easy on yourself. You don't have to make this night and day. It's like eating one potato chip. It's kind of hard to do that when you open the bag. So sit there and eat the whole bag of potato chips and scroll for 30 minutes, but at least know that you're doing it. Be aware of it. Say, this is unhealthy and I know I'm doing it and I'm going to do it. That's all I'm saying by recognizing. Number 2 is recognize what it looks like by looking around you at other people. Part of this practice that's going to really help you is by observing others, like I did. Stop, put your phone away, cross your hands, and just sit there when you're in public and look around you. And when you're passing somebody, this is an invasion of privacy, but whatever, they're doing it in public, glance over your shoulder at what they're looking at. And ask yourself, is this the person I want to be? Do I want to be like these people? Do I want to look like this? In public, do I want to look like this? You know what's really interesting to me is that I studied art history in university, and there are paintings from the 17th and 16th centuries that were like moral paintings. And I remember a few, and the pose was this. This was the pose in profile or face down, like this. Head crooned, neck down. And the profile was meant, and everybody knew the profile. It was something that anyone could recognize. It was devotion and prayer, because what the person had in their hands was something called a Book of Hours. And it was an archetype for a moral painting of saying, look at this person and what they're doing with their focus. They're staring at their Book of Hours. And it makes me laugh, it makes me sad, and it is just interesting to me to see this is the pose of today. Yet what is the focus? What is it actually doing to the mind? It's not elevating it, it's destroying it. It's making it mush. So think about this pose every time you're doing it, and think about it in public, and ask yourself by looking around you and recognizing. So this is B of recognizing. Recognize what it looks like all around you. The third part of recognition, so C, the letter C, in this recognition category, is recognize what the addiction was made for. If you recognize why this even exists, why these apps exist, it will kind of turn you off. They exist because of the reason why, unfortunately, the primary thing that makes the world go round. It is, I don't think it's love. I mean, the economy of the world going around. It is money. It is designed to make money. You ask yourself, why am I looking at my phone? You think you are looking at your phone to learn something. You are looking at your phone because somebody wants to make money, including me. So I'm going to openly admit this. I'm going to break the fourth wall a little bit and tell you that that's what these videos are about. These videos are a job for me. I am extremely lucky to have found a job I love doing and think actually benefits people by sharing what I want to share. But be aware that all of the things that are plugged to you and shown to you through this device are to make money. That's why they're there. And when your eyeballs are on them, advertisements go through, and advertisements contribute to the making of money through the content that you're watching. It is all part of this large, huge economy. I hear it around me all the time here in New York. Tech people talking about designing apps and platforms and more engagement and more eyeballs on what they're doing. You know, the way that I'm able to live my life, to be in a different city and to rent a harp, is through doing this. That's how I'm able to live this life, partially through doing this. This contributes to it. And I thank you for that. I thank you for watching this stuff, because it's through the advertisements that pop up on your screen and that are annoying that bit by bit, I'm able to earn a living that enables me to rent a harp when I'm in Los Angeles and buy the fancier watercolor paint when I'm doing my watercolor practice. And there are a whole bunch of other things I do to make money. But be aware of that. Be aware that when you're scrolling, it's all there and it's all designed to make money. And think of that. You're contributing to other people making money. And maybe that will help be somewhat of a turnoff of, you know what? I'm sucked into this thing because it's a trap to make others money. And why am I doing that? I need to focus on me. And the fourth recognition, letter D, recognize the change in your life and your mind when you're not on your phone. Recognize that in the 5 minutes that you spend without your phone when you wake up because the phone is turned off, recognize what's happening in your head. You are going to be more productive with your thoughts. You guaranteed you will. You are going to have revelations that might be kind of uncomfortable that you might not want to think about, like the end of your life or a loved one dying. Think about those things and lean into them. Ask yourself how you're going to deal with them. And these answers take long stretches of time. They don't happen 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there. They take hours, over weeks and years sometimes, to come to a conclusion or an understanding or an acceptance. But that's what I do. And my ability to live this beautiful life is hugely connected to not being addicted to my phone. And I find myself in this situation where it is very ironic that this medium that I'm using is this technology. But I treat it like work. I really do. It is work for me. This is part of my job. I restrict myself. I do what I have to do. I look through the comments, and that's why I don't answer all the comments. I scroll through, and when there's a comment that I feel is worthy of acknowledging and thanking, I wish I could thank everybody, and I do verbally. I thank them in the comment section. Or if there's a question that legitimizes, that warrants a response, like, hey, you said this about making puppetums, what kind of oil should you use? And I didn't mention it in the video, then I'll actually take the time and answer it. But every single moment I'm spending on the device, I am totally aware this is work. I am working. This is not my life. I don't want my life to be on a device. I want my life to be here and now. I want my life to be something tangible, and for me to actually recognize how much sand has passed in the hourglass with the activities that I'm doing. So those are my 3 steps to breaking your phone addiction: restriction, replacement, and recognition. And I hope that this video gives you the tools to achieve something in your mind that you're really happy with. Thank you.